Today we are going to be looking at solving proportions. When two ratios are equal, they form a proportion. In a proportion, a cross product is the product of the numerator of one of the ratios and the denominator of the other. So when multiplying it diagonally. So if we multiply this example diagonally, the two products are going to equal each other. So let's look at that. 1 times 6 gives us 6. Is that equal to 3 times 2? It gives you 6 as well. So they are equal, so this is a proportion. So let's look at the next couple problems and determine if these ratios are proportional. So let's cross multiply. 6 times 5 is 30, and 3 times 10 is 30. Since they equal each other, they are proportional. When we cross multiply these, we get 1.2 times 5, which is 6, and then 2 times 4.0, which is 8. These do not equal each other, so it's not proportional. Let's try the next one. 1 times 9 gives us 9. 3 times 3 gives us 9. They are equal, so they are proportional. Let's try the last one here. 12 times 6. 12 times 6 is 72. Then 2 times 24 gives us 48. These are not equal, so they're not proportional. Now let's look at solving proportions. To solve proportions, we are going to cross multiply. So 1 times 60 gives us 60. That's going to equal x times 5, which is 5x. Now we have a problem we have to solve. So we have to divide both sides by 5, cancels out, and gives us x to equal 60 divided by 5 gives us 12. So the missing term, which is 12 for x, would make this problem proportional. Let's try the next example. Let's cross multiply. 10 times 4 gives us 40, and 2.5 times k gives us 2.5k. Divide both sides by 2.5, cancels out, gives us k to equal 16. Now I want you to pause this video and do the next 4, and then come back and check your work. Okay, let's try these problems. Let's cross multiply. A times 100 is 100a. 52 times 25 gives us 1300. Divide both sides by 100. So A equals 13. Let's try the next one. Cross multiply. K times 7, 7k. 3 times 35 is 105. Divide both sides by 7. Cancels. Gives us k to equal 15. Let's check the next one. Cross multiply. 2.5 times 7.5 gives us 93.75. 15 times m is 15m. Divide both sides. Gives us m to equal 6.25. The last one here, let's cross multiply. 6 times 24 that's 72. 18 times t is 18t. Divide both sides by 18. Cancels. T equals, then if we divide 72 by 18, we get 4. Okay, let's look at the back. Now we have some word problems. So the key here is we have to keep the units of measure in the same place on each ratio. So, for this first example, an 8-ounce glass of orange juice contains 72 milligrams of vitamin C. How much juice contains 60 milligrams of vitamin C? So we have to set this up. So we start off with 8 ounces. So we'll have 8 ounces on the top with 72 milligrams of vitamin C on the bottom. Make sure you have your units with your numbers. So when we write our second proportion, we do not get our proportions flipped. So the second part is the juice contains 60 milligrams of vitamin C. Since we have the milligrams on the bottom, we have to put our 60 milligrams on the bottom, and then we put our X on top. Now we can solve this. We cross multiply. 8 times 60 gives us 480, and then X times 72 is 72X. Divide both sides. So we get X to equal 6.6. And then we give our units, and our units is ounces. Let's look at the next example. The skull length of a crocodile is proportional to its body. In one species, a 6-foot crocodile has a 2-foot skull. We need to estimate the length of the crocodile of that species with a 3.5-foot skull. So we have a 6-foot crocodile. So the crocodile we're going to put in the numerator and its skull in the denominator. So we're going to have 6 feet over 2 feet. And then it's going to be equal to the 3.5-foot skull needs to be in the denominator. So X over 3.5. Now let's cross multiply. 6 times 3.5 gives us 21, and X times 2 is 2X. Divide both sides by 2. Cancels, and we get X to equal 10.5, 10.5, in our units of feet. I want you to do the next 6 by yourself and then come back to the video and check your work. Let's look at number 1 for your setup. You should have 12 ounces over 15 weeks. And then your ounces should match up, so you would have 18 ounces over X. Now cross multiply. 12X is equal to 270. Divide both sides by 12. And you get X to equal 22.5 weeks. Don't forget your units. Let's check the setup for number 2. You should have 13 out of 20 is equal to X over 60. And then when you cross multiply, get 20X equaling 780. Divide both sides by 20. 20's cancel, and you're left with X to equal 39 homes. Okay, number 3, let's check the setup. You should have 6 ounces over 45 pieces is equal to 10 ounces over x. Cross multiply. 6x equaling 450. Divide both sides by 6. Cancels out. You're left with x to equal 75 pieces. Okay, number 4. You should have 3 pages over 4.5 pages equal to 11 pages over x. Cross multiply. You should get 3x is equal to 49.5. Divide both sides by 3. We get x to equal 16.5 pages. Okay, let's look at number 5. Let's look at the setup. You should have 48 multiple choice over 1 minute is equal to 30 multiple choice over x. Cross multiply. You get 48x is equal to 300. Divide both sides by 48. Cancels, you're left with x to equal 6.5 and then your units of minutes. Okay, the last question. Let's check our setup. Should have 20 minutes over 150 people. And that would be equal to x over 240 people. Cross multiply. Get 150 x equaling 4,800. Divide both sides by 150. Cancels, and we are left with x equaling 32 minutes. Okay, so that is it for solving proportions. Please reach out if you have any questions.